I guess, have them pay for their crimes against the galaxy. But this event is also happening in Andromeda. It's happening in about hundreds of thousands other galaxies. So some believe that it's also echoing beyond our local universe, that it's also echoing in other universes as well. And that has a lot to do with the restoration, not only of the Earth, but of the entire cosmos as I speak. And that's what the Bible means when they say that there's going to be a totally new heaven and a totally new Earth. It's going to be a reboot. And that reboot is actually being executed right now as I speak. So what we're going to be witnessing here, hopefully in the next few weeks to a few months, is the exposure of the dark side. Everything's going to come to light. The Earth Alliance and the White Hats are just a small reflection of a bigger community, galactic community and cosmic community. So what the Alliance and the Earth Hats are doing here, the Galactic Federation and other intergalactic federations are also conducting in many, many galaxies. So it's going to be fascinating to see how it all unfolds here on this Earth, because the whole purpose of this scale is to reconnect the Earth back into the galactic community, as prophesied in those galactic records. So as I predicted in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, I believe that Earth will be once again reinstated, fully opening positively with the galactic community by no later than 2024. So I believe that the disclosure that's about to take place, with the EBS and the tribunals that are going to be taking place is going to lead to eventually having first contact with a lot of the galactic representatives that have actually been working in tandem with the Earth Alliance and the White Hats.
That's wonderful. That's really encouraging. And that's one of the things that I like the most about some of your presentations is it's giving hope back. Well, people need hope. People need to know that a better life is coming. A better way is coming. Their time is up. And
and they know that. And that's why they're doing everything in their power to throw in, their one last try. And even the chemtrail technology has recently been eliminated from them or taken away from them. So now people are going to start seeing cleaner skies. The chemtrail programs, the chemtrail programs which have been going on since the 50s and 60s are now coming to an end because of the victory of the White Hats.
Oh, I mean, that's a long time coming, and I tell you what, I was called a conspiracy theorist and all kinds of things about those, and try to explain it's not contrails, it's chemtrails, that kind of thing. But anyway, and they've been poisoning us in our food, water, and air, and it's so sad, but it's coming to an end, and that is so refreshing. Have you heard of Diamond Sun DNA?
Absolutely. So there are different levels of DNA upgrades. Most people are only familiarized with the crystalline structure DNA, which is a DNA that intelligences that exist in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional levels of reality use. Beyond the sixth dimension, we begin to use what is known as diamond DNA. Diamond DNA, is a little bit more evolved and it exists at a higher level of reality. It's also known as hydroplasmic genetics, which allows you to not only be solid, but to freely convert your mass into pure energy at will, and be both particle and energy at the same time. So you're like what a particle is. You're at that level of reality. You're able to unify with the entire field. The entire cosmic energy unified field, while remaining as an individualized unit of consciousness. So that's the next level DNA that we're going to be eventually using as we use more of our dormant DNA. But there's also higher levels DNA than Diamond Sun DNA.
Really?
DNA. Yeah, there is a DNA that no longer could be encased in physical form as we know it, and that's called the antimatter pure light body DNA. And at that level of reality, which exists from the 12th dimension and up, the intelligences that occupy those regions of reality they could materialize any physical form they want at will, because they're just pure light body.
Wow. I want to show this one question before it gets too many others get ahead of it. How will first contact look like, and will there be an evacuation?
It's already taking place within the private sector. Actually, within the private sector, the Earth has already been recuperated and reaccepted back into the Galactic Federation as of 1967, when Solar Warden came into being. That's when, through that breakaway group known as Solar Warden and Radiant Guardians, we had already joined the Federation. But as far as bringing it out to the general public, it's already in progress. In fact, a lot of these Y hats that are working with the Federation are actually our Venetian brothers from planet Venus. One of them is his name is Valiant Thor, and he has been working from behind the scenes with the JFK Jr., who's still alive, and of course the 122 countries that signed the Alliance Treaty, and we also have other representatives from the Pleiadians that are working with the Y hats, like Commander Koltik, who's in charge of the new geophysics programs, and they're closely monitoring the Earth's electromagnetic field. The pulse, because there is going to be a pole shift, but it's not going to affect us in the fifth dimension. The pole shift is only going to take place in the third dimensional Earth. So the reason that there's going to be no evacuation is because we're literally going to be translated from one level of reality into the next, and only those that were left behind in the third dimensional Earth are going to be able to experience, the rising of continents, the tsunamis and earthquakes, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, so
wow.
First contact is in its way.
Wow, that's exciting. Now, are you saying that there are some people that are going to be left behind
Well, in
for
the
that
third
experience, or
dimensional,
how okay, because it's just a matter of changing frequency.
absolutely,
You
yeah.
change-
So what's going to cause that a sudden catapult into the fifth dimensional reality is that solar sneeze, that final signal from the sun that has been prophesied about. That's going to usher in what's known as the seventh golden age of enlightenment, and it's already in progress. A great number of us who are actually awakening to the truth, who are actually raising their frequencies by adopting a better way of life, by learning how to become service to others, are already shifting into the fifth dimensional reality. So we're just waiting for that final release of the sun to catapult everyone else into that new heaven on earth that's been prophesied for millennium.
Now, what determines the manifestation of this event from the sun?
Once enough of us are fully cleared and have collapsed the polarity duality within, and have fused with a unified field, which is the mind of the all, once enough of us do that, then the high heart chakra, known as the thymus gland, will activate. And when that activates, that's going to coordinate a signal with the sun, because our sun is a living entity, just like our Earth is a living entity.
Okay.
So,
Now that makes more sense. Adding that little tidbit of information that it's a living. Yeah, because I'm going, well, what's triggering this, and why is it happening, and how? But being a living entity, it's able to read humanity or the planet, then, right?
Yeah, our sun is actually in constant communication with our cells. So our cells, our glands, are also living, entities at a micro scale of reality, and that's why this whole concept of self-healing and self-regeneration is now coming to the forefront once again. It all begins with acknowledging that even your cells are conscious and alive. So when we begin to form that heart-mind connection, which is proven through the Institute of Heart Math and Science, we're actually able to bioregulate our biology. We're able to signal the right genes, the healing genes as opposed to the cancerous genes, into action. We're able to control our bodies and heal ourselves, and that's been proven. The great geniuses and doctors who are at the forefront of that revelation that we could actually heal ourselves is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and then of course Limpton. Yeah, Bruce Limpton and Dr. Joe Dispenza are pioneers in the fusing of this, ancient metaphysical knowledge. And
Greg Braden, the three of them,
the three amigos.
they're awesome, and they're spot on about that type of thing and how to, manifest and make changes in your subconscious mind, the programming that we've all been subjected to, and so on. Now, what about MK mind control? Now, it's been my understanding that most people think that that's only been used on individual people, but I believe, and I have read, that it actually has been used on the masses, and it certainly is how it appears that people are hypnotized, from, especially if you watch TV. Do you know if has any of that been taken down?
That was all controlled by the frequency fence that was placed around our planet by the Dracos through a black cube that they had stationed in outer space right above the Earth's atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And that in turn, that cube was was acting as a signal receiver to the frequencies that were being generated by our moon, inside of our moon. It was a huge, they had a huge infrastructure in there that the Draco were using to keep us trapped into this reincarnational cycle so that we wouldn't go beyond our solar system and that we remain trapped here. But all of it was now neutralized recently within the last few months. All that technology that has locked us into this lower frequency that is causing this massive mind control is all being neutralized as I speak. Unfortunately, for those that took the medicine, it's harder for them to get out of the mind control because of the fact that those, living nanobots in their bodies are actually little by little becoming, bigger and bigger parasites.
Self-replicating.
Yeah, self-replicating. And they're eventually taking over the minds of the people.
What about the black magic spells that we've heard about that have been cast all over the planet? The black magic on the money in the money system, but there are a lot of black magic spells that they've used again to help control the masses. Where are things in that regard?
Well, that has a lot to do with I think it's 32 or 35 monuments that were working for the Cabal that were actually generating what is known as the dark gematria. The dark gematria is what was causing all the suffering in the world. Creating scenarios where people would just resort to violence and stuff. It has also a lot to do with the rituals and all the human sacrifices that they've been doing in order to release more loosh. But all that stuff is also being eliminated as I speak. In fact, from what I understand is that all those monuments are actually going to be taken out by the Earth Alliance. And so that negative dark magic gematria that has been generated through the grid is all going to be canceled. And people are going to notice the difference. People are going to see that the Earth is going to actually become less denser.
Oh, it'll actually be something they will be able to feel because there's a frequency to it, apparently, a heavy frequency. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. And also the frequency fence was dismantled at the end of 2021. In other words, the Draco who were trying to keep us locked into this, just isolated and quarantined from the rest of the galaxy is no longer in existence. The Galactic Federation with the Earth Alliance have dismantled that as well. And now our moon is under the control of the Earth Alliance. So the Earth Alliance is already in control of all the interplanetary structures that we developed through the secret space programs. They've already regained control of all the space stations from the Dark Fleet and the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate. And they are now in the hands of the Alliance. Thank God.
Yes, definitely. Thank God. So this is definitely a spiritual war, but it also appears to be somewhat of a bloodline war.
Absolutely. And that's what I actually describe in my book. This war between this war between good and light and darkness is actually traceable back to the galactic wars, which I reveal in the history of the galaxy.
I gotta get your book. I haven't got your book yet, so I'm sorry to say that. But
no, it's okay.
No.
It's mind blowing. I mean, my book is activating so many people. It is the next level disclosure, revealing not only the galactic history of the Earth, but the entire organizational structure of the multiverse. But one of the things that I discovered throughout my intense downloads and research for many years is that the war is the war of the bloodlines, a bloodline that could be traced to Michael and Lucifer. So the bloodline of Michael is actually who are the people that are associated with service to others, and they originated in Lyra. They came from Lyra, and that's where our ancestors come from. That's where the original humans were seated in our galaxy 600 million years ago. And then the bloodline of Lucifer was deposited in the Draco star system by the alien AI about 2 billion or 4 billion years ago. And so what we're seeing here is we're seeing a battle between not only two opposite philosophies, the Lyrans adhering to the law of one and service to others and unity consciousness, Christ consciousness and stuff like that. And then we have the Draco who are adhering to service to self. Their philosophy is to conquer and destroy and enslave. So all that is being reflected within the secret society networks of both light and dark brotherhood here in our planet. So that's one of the revelations that I reveal in my book, that it's also a battle of these two royal galactic houses that began almost 1 billion years ago. That's where the feud began. But recently that war has now echoed down to our world in the form of the Cabal lineages, which again are the families that stem from Orion, from the Draco system, and the White Hat lineage, which we would be considering the descendants of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, King David, and Solomon, and the original tribes of Jacob. And those are traceable all the way to Lyra. So we're now witnessing one final clash between these two royal galactic houses, from Lyra and Orion.
Okay. And Lyra being the Christ lineage, and Orion being the Draco lineage. What about the hybrids in between? What happens with that? Where is that?
There was a third house that was created by admixing the Royal Galactic House of Draco with the Royal Galactic House of Avion and Lyra, and that created the House of Ananda. The thing about that lineage is that a part of that lineage fell in favor to the Luciferian Draconian agenda, and then a part of that lineage, became loyal or held their loyalty to Christ Michael. So there was a split within that bloodline as well. But that bloodline is not on the Earth. That bloodline actually exists in Orion. That's a different bloodline. It's a mixture of both. So that explains why the wars of Orion have been going on for millions of years. I mean, the forces of light had to win those wars several times. When they first secured the gates of Orion before they infiltrated our solar system during the first Earth Great Seeding 4 million years ago, when our entire solar system was populated by all these advanced civilizations. That's when the Galactic Federation first won the war in Orion. But then what happened was members of the Orion system used time travel into our presence, popping into the reality when Hitler was, searching for the lost knowledge of building anti-gravity aircraft, BIM on us, which is what him and his secret society have been studying for years. He actually made contact with a group of extraterrestrials known as the Nordics from Aldebaran. Well, the Nordics from Aldebaran were already working with the Draco. And then, that's how they were able to give Hitler the tech. So that's how eventually, through the development of what became known as the Dark Fleet also time traveled back into our past in order to re-win that war in Orion against the Federation. But then what happened was that the Councils of Light from Orion, of the Galactic Federation, also time traveled into our future, popping into our reality around the late 1950s to also give our Navy and, our military, the White Hats, the advanced technology that they needed in order to create a vehicle that was not only going to protect our solar system, but eventually was going to also travel back in time and then use our super soldiers of Solar Warden to regain the war from the Nazis and from the Dark Fleet and the Draco, re-winning the war again in Orion. So there was, due to the time travel, the wars in using time travel technology, that war was re-won by the Federation or by the Forces of Light through our super soldiers, and then won again by the cyborgs of the Omega Project that were executed by the Dark Fleet, and then won again by our Federation. So that actually flipped about 3 or 4 times. Yeah, so we finally secured Orion, which gave the victory for the Forces of Light throughout the entire galaxy as of 2018. And that's when our super soldiers returned, finally, from Orion.
Wow. So this has been going on for a really long time.
Millions of years.
But now it's going to stop because of the divine plan.
Well, it's stopping because of the fact that we're ending not only a planetary and a stellar cycle, but a cosmic cycle. See, one of the things I revealed in my book is that the reason our entire cosmos is going through a reset or a reboot is because we're not only ending a 2,160-year cycle, which is, there's 12 of those, right? 12 houses of the zodiac, but we're also ending a 5,000-year cycle, which is 2 of those, and then we're also ending 5 of those, which is a 26,000-year cycle. But at the same time, we're also ending 5,500 cycles of those, which marks a 226 million year cycle. So because we're ending all these cycles, the forces of light have been, how can I say, because there is going to be a reboot. So they have to, cleanse the heavens from the higher dimensions down. So that's why it's now trickling here on the Earth. What's taking place in the cosmos with these intergalactic tribunals is now barely trickling down here in the Earth with, the White Hats exposing the truth about what's really been going on.
Wow. Someone wanted to know if you had studied Ashadin's materials, or if you had some of his. Do you know anything about the wind makers? Or I don't know how to say her name.
Well, I think they're referring to Ashayana or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I've never had the chance to read her work or study, but I've been told about her because some people say that a lot of the stuff that I talk about is similar to some of the stuff that she talks about. But I also heard that she was an emissary for the Emerald Order, and I also claim to be an emissary for the Emerald Order. So we're probably 2 channels of the same, Covenant of Light or Intergalactic Alliance, known as the Guardian Alliance, that took place, millions of years ago. So about and then what was your other question?
I just know that she's highly regarded by Carrie Cassidy, and she came out with a lot of stuff quite a few years ago, but the timing wasn't right. People weren't ready for it. Now we're to the point of people are ready for it. And wing makers is the other thing that wanted your opinion on, or what you know about them.
What I know about them is what was revealed and exposed by Dr. Jamison Neruda, who defected from the Advanced Contact of Intelligent Organization. Apparently, the Windmakers are time travelers. They are us in the future. They are known as the Central Race, and this corresponds to my research regarding the Central Race of the Central Universe of Havana, which is the always existing eternal race. In other words, the eternal race or the Central Race are the founders, is the founder race of all universes, of all angelics, of all humanities throughout the cosmos, and that's why we're all made in the same image, known as the Atama. So some believe that we are at the hub, at the midpoint, that the Central Race are our ancestors, and at the same time they are us in the future. As we begin to use 100% of our full genetic power, then we become like the Central Race. So the cosmic war against AI, the reason it's been winning in favor of the light is because the Central Race has been stepping in from the central universe into the lower dimensions in order to help win this war against AI. But according to the Wingmakers, they believe that the defense mechanism that is supposed to destroy the AI signal and the AI infrastructure is actually in our genetics. And I believe that to be true because it's part of the dodging that I've discovered. See, we are the only species, Gail, that has the God particle gene in our genetics, or the God gene. And what that means is that we're the only species out of all the terrestrials and extraterrestrials and metaterrestrials that could actually evolve past the local universes into the realms of infinity or eternity, into the central realms of the central universe, while maintaining physical form, which is amazing. No other race has ever done that before in the history of the cosmos. And I do believe that this ancient AI is actually after that data, because it's, DNA is data to this thing. And so this thing has always been trying to access the realms of eternity. But thank God that the central race has been there to, make sure that they did it. And so the Wingmakers are believed to be members of the Central Race who actually time traveled in order to deposit what is known as the ancient aerosites.
Wow.
That has to do with the opening up of the 12 major stargates as well.
Holy smokes. Now, there was another question I was thinking of, and I kind of lost it, and it'll come back to me. So what calendar are we actually on? That's, there's the Julian, the Gregorian, the Mayan, the this, the that. What actually is a reflection of where we are right now?
Well, the original sacred calendar, which is aligned to the natural cycles of the universe,
that makes sense.
Which deals with the 28-day, 13-moon cycle, was preserved by the Mayans. And they correlate with the ancient Egyptian and the ancient Lemurian, as well as the ancient Atlantean calendars. Now, we don't no longer use those accurate timekeeping systems. Unfortunately, ever since our world was taken over by Marduk Belial-Baal during the times of Atlantis, the son of Enki Poseidon, who is Lucifer and who was at the head of the Dark Fleet and the Cabal for the last thousands of years, those what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
No, I know how that is. Let's see. I'm losing it myself too, but that's okay. We'll just keep right on moving along. Marduk is someone who
Marduk, he's the reason why our world has been, experiencing oppression and darkness for the last thousands of years. He's been at the head of the Cabal. He's also known as Belial-Baal.
Baal, right?
Belial-Baal, or Satan in the Bible.
Satan, another one, yeah. There are a number of people that I am aware of who have told me at one time or another, I don't know if this is in the astral realm or where they thought this actually occurred, but they said he was killed or they had killed him. Obviously, they didn't. Either that or maybe they were killing what appeared to be an image that looked like Marduk or something like that. Have you heard that before?
Well, it's not that he was killed. He was actually forced to abdicate to the throne of Nibiru. When Nibiru was restored by the Syrian High Council in 2016, Marduk had to step down. So he's still alive. He's actually going to be facing tribunals pretty soon.
Oh, okay. I thought he already had, but apparently he hasn't. Either that, or maybe it's ongoing, or they handle different portions or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty amazing. Because I was now there. Are you familiar with Kim Guggen?
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Supposedly, she has taken the position that Marduk used to have. I don't know how that's possible or what have you, but anyway, I guess time always tells, doesn't it? Usually, unfortunately, sometimes it takes too much time because right now people are mostly concerned with the truth. Where do you think we are from a dimensional standpoint, from a humanity standpoint, in terms of where we need to go to for things to advance, like for the sun to be triggered to send the flash?
We're about 97% in. In other words, the collective is already in the fourth dimensional Earth, and that explains why things are now coming to the limelight. Things are going to be very transparent. The veil, as I speak, is being lifted, and that explains why people are having amazing, experiences, seeing things, seeing ships. A lot of people are having sightings at this time, having amazing dreams where they're being taken aboard a ship, or they're being introduced to their, galactic families. All this stuff is happening as a result of the Earth now moving into the fifth dimension. It's going to happen very soon.
So we're pretty much already in the fourth. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as a collective, we're already in the fourth.
All right, and so that's good because that means that it's not that far from the fifth then, because we can't jump from the third to the fifth. But we're not far then. 97%. That's pretty impressive. Well, there are some people that talk about a person has to be 51% service to others in order to make the cut. Is there a cut?
Well, as long as they're 51% service to others, according to the raw material, which is the law of one, they will make the fourth dimensional Earth, which is still going to be way better than the third dimensional Earth. But for those that are doing the work, the internal healing, the raising the frequency, raising their consciousness to the level of Christ consciousness or unity consciousness, seeing the Christ in everyone and every living thing, those are automatically going to make it into the fifth dimension and up. Some of us are going higher than the fifth dimension, by the way. It's not just the fifth dimension.
Okay, well, you don't skip a dimension, though, so some might be already in fifth dimensional and going to the sixth. Isn't that how it works? I mean, you keep going up.
Well, yeah, what's happening is that first of all, the Earth exists in 12 different dimensions. We have the third dimensional Earth, which is Terra, which is our current Earth. We have the fifth dimensional Earth, which is Terra. We have the eighth dimensional Earth, which is Gaia. And then we have the 12th dimensional Earth, which is Aramatina. And of course, Sophia is the 15th dimensional Earth. So due to the cosmic ascension and the ending of the cosmic cycle, for the first time in our history, the Earth is going to be reconnecting to all 5 adjacent Earths. So depending on your own frequency or individual vibration, some of us are going to be able to jump to the 8th dimensional Earth. Some of us are going to be able to jump to the 12th dimensional Earth. Because the cosmic current that allows for all these dimensions to fuse again is actually activating due to the rare planetary alignment with our solar system and the central sun of the galaxy, which is an event that takes place every 26,000 years.
Wow. We have 203 people watching us right now, Ismael.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Lainey. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Let's see. Someone was asking, how does a simple human help themselves and others in their community? What suggestions might you have for people?
By being service to others, by living life accordingly. If you're aware of these principles and rules, if you understand that everything in life is interconnected, that we are all one with all living things, then you should live accordingly, because when you implement that attitude and that way of thinking and those actions, you're actually raising the collective. You're a beacon of light for others to follow. And like a domino effect, it becomes contagious. The light always uplifts darkness, or always shines through the darkness. Random acts of kindness work wonders. Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, Earth Angel. Thank you very much. That slipped past me. I didn't even see it. But anyway, thank you. Let's see. What about this here? Donors realms, you feel them and integrate them and then expand. Would you agree with that?
Say that again.
It says, if you don't understand realms, you feel them and integrate with them and then expand.
Exactly. So that's how it works first. First, we match the vibration by raising our consciousness. Once we are there consciously, then we take our bodies with us. But that's how normally it works. See, what separates the different dimensional planes of reality or the different dimensions is the rate of vibration. So you can say that matter exists even within the empty space, or what scientists call dark matter or dark energy. It's just reality vibrating at higher frequencies. So when astronomers are piercing the skies and they only see the galaxies, that's only 4% of the entire cosmos. The other 96% of the so-called missing matter or missing, or dark energy, dark matter, is pretty much the realms of the local universes, the realms of the cosmic matrix sectors, the realms of the super universe, and then, of course, the highest levels of reality is the realms of the central universe, which is the other 96% of reality.
Oh, okay. This other question, I had to look at it twice. I wasn't really sure what they meant. And by the way, thank you so much, Sylvie, Brian. Thank you. I really appreciate it very much. So anyway, how not to go towards the light? When we used but the reincarnation cycle is stopping as well, correct?
Well, that's stopping, yes, because we are in our final incarnation. Our bodies are actually going to be transformed by the activation of our dormant DNA and the refusing of our 10 strands of DNA, because originally we had 12. We're going to be able to go from carbon-based DNA to crystalline-based DNA. So our bodies are just going to translate from one level of reality to the next without tasting death.
That makes sense, because it sounds so strange, but I've said this to a few people that I know would be safe to say it. It's like I don't feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah, in fact, you're going to regenerate and look back to like you did when you were 30. That's
even better. I really like that. That's even better. So anyway, okay. They were, he was just referring. How they used to always say, "Go to the light," and then they started saying, "Don't go to the light." When you die, that is. But anyway, without tasting death. That's nice. Yes, that's really nice. We've all tasted death many times before. Really, we just don't remember it.
And many of us tasted a painful death, when we were burned at the stake in medieval times.
I was told 3 times. I guess I don't listen very well.
But people like Joan of Arc, what's his name, Leonardo da Vinci, all those people were actually the white hats during the medieval ages, during those times in Europe, and they're the reason why. They were able to get us out of the Dark Ages by initiating the Reformations, the Renaissance, the Scientific Revolution, and even in the original establishment of our country, America, was a design by the White Hats before they were infiltrated, of course, by the Dark Hats. But now they're taking it back from the Dark Hats.
Yay! Well, here's a question for you. I heard our bodies increase in size when going into 5D. Is that also in each density?
Yes. So basically, the intelligences that exist in 4th, 5th, and 6th density could be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 feet tall. The beings that exist in dimensions 8 to 9 and 10 could be anywhere from 12 feet tall to 24 feet tall. The beings that exist in dimensions 10, 11, and 12 could be anywhere from 24 feet tall to 36 feet tall. Wow. So the higher you go in dimensions, the bigger you become. And that explains the giants that existed on the earth in ancient times. They were people that were coming from the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dimensions that were once coexisting with the rest of us in ancient times.
Interesting. Somebody's asking how many times you've been incarnated on Earth, if you know.
Who, me?
Yes.
Too many times, I think.
Yeah. I can't remember how many times. Mine was over 300, so I don't remember. There's some that have even more than that. But anyway, okay. Let's see.
We have time for maybe about 2 more questions.
Okay, I got 41 minutes. Well, we got a late start, didn't we? Okay, new message. Let me see. Well, who constitutes the White Hats in your definition? Who are the White Hats?
Well, like I said, they have a bloodline association. So the core of the White Hats are the actual descendants of the Druids, the real line of King David and Solomon, which can be traceable back to those monarchs. So who are they today? The Trumps are part of that. The Kennedys are a part of that. Princess Diana is a part of that. So all those are examples of the descendants. And there's a lot more also that constitute the core of the White Hats. Now, the outer core of the White Hats are actually the different people that have been working from behind the scenes to fight the NWO and the UN and, their oppression system. Mm-hmm. And so there's different levels. You have the inner core, which has to do with the protection of the seed of Mary, Magdalene, and Jesus, and then you have the outer core, similar to the times of medieval times where you had the Knights Templars as the outer vehicle protecting the priority of Zion, who were the White Hats during medieval times. It's exactly the same way. There's different levels, and then of course the highest levels of the White Hats. Then what we have now is we have extraterrestrials that are actually working with humans side by side as I speak.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
they're a
awesome.
combination. Yeah, they're a combination of advanced Earthlings, those that come from the royal house of Michael, King David, or if we want to trace it back to the galaxy, they come from Lyra. And then we have also the Galactic Federation commanders that are actually assisting them from behind the scenes. Because what's happening here is that not only are we restoring the Earth or heaven on Earth as we enter into the seventh golden age of enlightenment, but we're also restoring and bringing balance to the entire galaxy. In other words, the kingdom of Lyra, Sirius, the Pleiadians is actually going to be stationed on this Earth as the new headquarters throughout the galaxy.
Nice. Okay, I have a question for you. When ascension happens, will non-original DNA be removed and not follow us? And will nanotech stay behind?
Absolutely. If you weren't pushing the medicine, if you weren't forcing it on others, believed in it, cold-heartedly, then you're gonna if you were coerced to getting it, all that stuff is gonna leave. It's gonna eliminate, just vaporize. The solar flash is gonna act like an EMP to dissolve the graphene oxide, the nanotech, and all that stuff.
Okay. Do you have a copy of your book that you could show people before we?
Actually, no, but it is called Our Cosmic Origin, and it's available on Amazon. And what I could also do, Gail, is give you the link to my book, and you could put it on the description for people to access it. Now, I also teach a starseed cosmology course that goes over the different star races, their different characteristics. We talk about dimensions in that course. We talk about the galactic and cosmic history in great detail. And then, of course, you get to ask me questions at the end. We interact, and then I teach you the techniques and methods that allowed me to access my multidimensionality. So I share all that within my courses. I am booked till November, but I do have a few slots left for the November class for those that are interested in learning, deeper knowledge about their galactic and stellar heritage.
Wow, yeah, everybody needs to know that. Really, it's a shame we're not taught what we need to know, and our history has been kept from us. But I really appreciate your work and what you've done, and putting in as much time as you have been putting this information forward for more people to know what's going on and what our cosmic history really has been, because we've just been lied to about everything. So we have some other questions here, but maybe we'll try to bring you back on in some time when that works out for you as well as for me. So
yeah, we could definitely do part 2, and this time, since I know it works on my laptop, we could actually do a full hour.
That would be awesome. That would be good. Okay, so you need to go because you got another show coming up, right? And we got a late start, so I don't know. I'm at 46 minutes here, but is there anything that you would like to tell or say to people in closing, or what they can be doing that would help? I'm thinking that oneness is a very important idea or concept. But anyway, put it out there. What do you think people should know or be doing at this time?
Well, this is how I always leave my interviews. This is the last thing I tell you. It is important to understand the power of being in the presence, because when we are in the presence, that's when we are co-creating and manifesting our reality individually and collectively. So if you guys could master being in the presence and being aware in everything that you're doing in the presence, you'll be able to manifest faster.
Fantastic. Stay in your heart and stay in the now. Right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ismael. I'm going to let you go because you got another show to do, and I'll be in touch and we can do this again.
Sounds good. Thank you, Gail.
Now that we know how to make it work. Okay. You take care and thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Gail.
A great job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up.
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không còn mơ em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em ai. Chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho bên mơ em không mơ ai. Anh vẫn đang mơ. Chỉ cần bên em không được còn nhớ. Và chỉ có em không còn nhớ. Và người ta bên nhau như là tớ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây. Và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mơ mày. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu. Không em như mà mơ mộng. Anh như nếu mong cầu. Và mưa bên em hôn sầu. Chắc có mà mai em mơ. Chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ. Mà đang dài em muốn bên ai. Anh không mong gì hơn. Chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần. Anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau. Mà đừng em đâu anh có em. Mà đừng bên anh có em. Ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu. Ôm anh cứ mưa bằng ngâu. Và em chỉ nằm đâu. Anh không muốn em ở đâu đâu. Một cơn gió thứ anh không mơ cầu. Mà không đôi anh mà bên giờ. Anh chỉ là my friend. Em quên đi bao lời hứa. Quên đi cả những ngày xưa. Anh như là muốn đưa. Em không còn chưa. Mà đừng vào đêm ở đêm. Anh như một đôi bằng kem. Không như là ba trên thêm. Cho em nhiều hơn như là kem. Chỉ cần là mưa thôi. Em chỉ cần là mưa thôi. Còn ai sẽ là nắng rồi. Em chỉ cần là mưa thôi. Cho anh ngồi êm trôi. Cho anh được ôm em khi trời nắng. Và ôm em khi trời mưa. Và có anh có mặt trời. Em như là cuộc đời. Có được nhau là gặp thời. Không cần mưa để mần lời. Anh muốn em mau về đây để cơn mưa